Can we please have Mr. Abujimo say the opening prayers after we have had a rendition of the national anthem to start our meeting? National anthem, please. Mr. Abujimo, please.
We seek, uh, we seek protection from God, from the accused devil, as we're about to start this meeting today. We thank you for protecting us from the last AGM we had up to today. We continue to ask for your protection as we continue to run this company. We thank you for your glory, for your blessings upon this company. And we pray that as we're about to start this meeting, you guide us and you lead us. And after the meeting, you continue to protect us. In your glorious name, we have prayed.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to the 6th Annual General Meeting of our bank, Coronation Merchant Bank Limited, which I'll hereinafter call CoronationMB. Once again, I welcome all members here present and those joining us online to this meeting. Can the registrar please confirm that a quorum has been formed?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, directors and esteemed shareholders. My name is Bukola James Cole and I represent Coronation Registrars Limited, registrar to the Coronation Merchant Bank. We have 13 shareholders attending this meeting by proxy, holding 4,982,096,601 units shareholding and representing 98.64% of the issued and fully paid up shares of the company. With this information, we hereby confirm that a quorum has been duly formed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. From the information provided by the registrars, we have the required quorum to constitute this meeting. As a result, I hereby declare the meeting duly convened. Due to the restrictions on public gatherings and in line with social distancing protocols, some of our board members are joining the meeting online. Also, the proceedings are streamed live and can be viewed via a link that is available on the bank's website. Before we commence the formal agenda for the meeting, I would like to briefly introduce my colleagues, members of the board of directors, and the secretary. Here with us today, in person, I'd like to introduce Mrs. Suzanne Iroche, who's an independent non-executive director of our bank. Can you welcome her, please?
Olumide, are you there?
I would also like to welcome Mr.
Yes, I am. Audio is not stopping.
I would also like to welcome Mr. Banjo Adegbongbe.
Yes, I am. Audio is not stopping. We are communicating with them. Thank you.
Are you saying that the people online cannot hear us? Or?
Good morning, Ambassador. Good morning.
Yeah, sorry, a few technical glitches, as we say. But are we? Can the people online hear us?
Yes, we are now.
Okay, thank you very much.
Now.
Thank you. So we'll proceed. So I will. Can all. Good morning. Good morning. Larry. Good morning, all. Can all those non-speaking people on the online side please mute the microphones? So I will introduce once again Mrs. Suzanne Roche, who is here with us at this meeting. I will also introduce Mr. Banjo Adegbongbe, the Managing Director, CEO of our bank. Mrs. Funke Feishiton Ladimeji, Executive Director and Chief Operating Officer of the bank. Other directors who are not physically here but are joining online, Mr. Idare Gogogan, Mr. Babatunde Dabiri, Ms. Evelyn Oputu, Mr. Larietta, Mr. Adamuata, and Ms. Olubumi Fayokun, who is also an independent. I forgot to mention that Mr. Dabiri is also an independent non-executive director. All the others are non-executive directors. We also have here the company secretary, Mrs. Cornelia George Utuk. And just in case you don't know who I am and I'm talking, my name is Tunde Falawiya. I'm the chairman of the bank. We also have here with us at this meeting the following people. Members of the Board Audit Committee, who I've already introduced as members of the board, but I'll run quickly through Mrs. Suzanne Roche, who is the chairperson of the Board Audit Committee, Mr. Idare Gogogan, Mr. Babatunde Dabiri, Ms. Evelyn Oputu, Mr. Larietta, and Ms. Olubumi Fayokun. I would also like to recognize the presence of our regulators in no particular order, but we really welcome them and thank them for making this trip in these precarious times. I recognize the presence of the representative of the CBN, the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Mojid Raji, the representatives of the Securities and Exchange Commission. I'm sure they're on their way. They indicated they'll be here. The bank's external auditors, Mrs. PricewaterhouseCoopers, are also here virtually or physically. I believe they're virtual. Yes. The bank's external consultants, Mrs. EY, represented by Dr. Benson Uweru. I think this is virtual as well. We now move to the rules of participation in our meeting today. I'd like to inform you that you should state your name before speaking, and you have an opportunity to second each motion put to the meeting. The directors will also be available, particularly the ones present here, for further discussions if required after the meeting. To facilitate the voting process, the registrar will explain the procedure to cast your votes. In terms of availability of corporate documents, I'd like to inform all members that the following documents are available for inspection during the meeting as required by the relevant sections of CAMA, that is Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, the Register of Shareholders, Register of Directors Shareholding, and Directors' Record of Attendance at board meetings. I now call upon the Company Secretary to read the notice of the meeting. Thank you very much, Cornelia. In addition to the quorum statement by the registrars earlier on, I would also like to draw our attention to Section 19, subsection 1 of the company's Articles of Association, which states as follows: no business shall be transacted at any general meeting unless a quorum of members is present at the time when the meeting proceeds to business. Save as herein otherwise provided, 5 members of the company personally present shall be a quorum for the choice of a chairman, the declaration of a dividend, and the adjournment of the meeting. For all other purposes, the quorum shall be members personally present, not being less than 7, and holding or represented by proxy not less than 1/10 of the issued capital of the company. Information received from the registrars indicates that a total of 12 corporate shareholders representing over 90% of the shareholding of the company's issued share capital are present at the commencement of the meeting and by proxy. Based on the foregoing, I hereby confirm that the quorum has been formed and the meeting duly convened. We now invite the registrars to explain the voting process.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Please be informed that we have received to date and captured the voting details for all 13 shareholders in attendance today by proxy, and they hold 4,982,096,661 units of the Coronation Merchant Bank Limited shares, and which represents 98.64% of the issued share capital. Once the voting session commences, we will display the results in line with submissions received, and the results will be read out. Thank you.
So, dear shareholders and all our guests, in line with COVID-19 protocols, hand sanitizers are provided at strategic places on the 5th floor where our meeting is holding for your use as often as necessary. Face masks have been provided to all attendees before accessing the building, and please ensure that you wear yours throughout your stay within the premises. I now declare the formal part of our meeting open. First item is the chairman's statement, and I confirm that the chairman's statement has been circulated with the annual report and has been published on pages 12 to 15 of the annual report. I seek your permission to take the chairman's statement as read. Do I have it?
You take as read.
Thank you. 2020 annual reports and accounts. We now move to the formal business of the meeting. The first item on the agenda is to receive the audited consolidated financial statements together with reports of the directors and audit committee and for the period ended 31st December 2020. I have the pleasure of presenting to you the audited consolidated financial statements together with the reports of the Directors and Audit Committee for the period 31st December 2020. With your permission, I would like to take the report of the Directors on pages 64 to 69 as read. Thank you. In line with the provisions of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, I now call upon the representatives of the auditors, PricewaterhouseCoopers, to read the report of the auditors, which is circulated to members with the accounts for the financial year ended 31st December 2020. The auditor's report is found on pages 110 to 115 of the report. And can I have the representative of PwC read the auditor's report?
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Chike representing PwC. I'd like to confirm that this
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you very much. As they said, audit medium is 110 to 104. I'd like to seek permission from members if they summarize the report. Like an average member and read on the copy to summarize the report.
Yes, you can proceed.
Thank you very much. its financial performance and its cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with the Bank and Other Financial Institutions Act and the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria Act. We have audited the statement of comprehensive income, the statement of financial position, the statement of changes in equity, statement of cash flow, and the notes to the financial statement. We conducted our audit in accordance with the international standard of auditing. Our responsibilities under the standards are further described in the audit of responsibility section of this report. We believe that audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide this. We also wish to state that we are independent of the company in accordance with the International Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, and that we have fulfilled and other ethical responsibilities in accordance with the International Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants. We have stated two other matters which are matters we have in the government of most significance according to the financial statements in the current period. There are two such matters which are the payment allowance for loans and advances and the recoverability of the tax assets. Our audit approach also stated in this report. I would like to proceed our report on other legal matters as described by the town. The company and other business act and the bank and other financial institutions act require inquiry of the audit to consider reports on different matters. We confirm that we have obtained all the information and information which is the best of our knowledge and are necessary for the purpose of the government. The bank has kept properly to account for prepared funds and funds that the audit have received from branches on the step by person. The bank statement of financial position and statement of commerce are in agreement with the rules of account plan. The information required by the Central Bank of Nigeria on insider related credit is disclosed in the notes to the financial statements. And as disclosed in the notes to the financial statements, the bank paid penalties with respect to the conventions for certain sectors of the bank and other financial institutions act and regular sectors issued by the Central Bank of Nigeria during the year ended 31 December 2020.
Thank you, Chairman. To members of the Board Audit Committee, in accordance with the provisions of Section 359, subsection 6 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act of Nigeria, the members of the Audit Committee of Coronation Merchant Bank Limited hereby report on the financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2020 as follows. We have exercised our statutory functions under Section 407 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act of Nigeria and acknowledge the cooperation of management and staff in the conduct of these responsibilities. We are of the opinion that the accounting and reporting policies of the bank are in agreement with legal requirements and agreed ethical practices, and that the scope and planning of both the external and internal audits for the year ended 31st December 2020 were satisfactory and reinforced the bank's internal control systems. As required by the provisions of the CBN Circular BSD/1/20014 dated February 18, 2004 on disclosure of insider-related credits in financial statements, we reviewed the insider-related credits of the bank and found them to be as disclosed in the financial statements. We have deliberated on the findings of the external auditors who have confirmed that necessary cooperation was received from management in the course of their audit, and we are satisfied with management's responses thereon and with the effectiveness of the accounting and internal control systems of the bank. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I now lay before you the annual report and accounts sent to all shareholders as required by the Companies and Allied Matters Act and the Articles of Association of the company. You now have an opportunity to ask questions on the accounts. It would help if you could refer to the page of the annual report and accounts to which the question relates. Any person asking a question or seeking clarification should please give his or her name and state the question or issue audibly. The floor is open. Any questions, comments, clarifications? And it's open to those online as well. Am I to take it there are no questions, comments, clarifications? The accounts are very clear and very accurate. I guess so. So, in that case, we will move to the ordinary business of the day. To facilitate the smooth conduct of the business of the day, I will move each motion and invite seconders for each motion from the floor. The seconders are kindly requested to state their names to enable the secretary to record the same accordingly. Furthermore, members are kindly requested to follow the voting process. Declaration of dividend. In view of the results declared in the audited financial statements that have just been laid, the directors are pleased to recommend a dividend of 33 kobo per ordinary share, which will be subject to the deduction of withholding tax. I hereby move that a dividend of 33 kobo per ordinary share be sanctioned, and that the directors be and are hereby authorized to distribute dividends from the profit of CoronationMB during the financial year ended 31st December 2020 to members whose names appear on the register of the bank as of the close of business on March 31st, 2021. Could someone please second this motion? I beg your pardon? I beg, yes, I just didn't hold the, yeah. No. Yes, yes. I've laid, okay, the only thing I did not do is to do this. so that's the accounts that have been laid before you. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Jimo, for your contribution. So, can we have someone second the motion on dividend, please?
Yes. My name is Adeniro Abiono. I represent Mike Ade Investment. I do second the motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Registrar, can you please
Thank you,
conduct the
Mr.
voting?
Chairman. Following the collation and receipt of votes from all 13 shareholders in attendance by proxy and holding 4,982,096,601 and representing 98.64%, we hereby display the results for the first resolution. Thank you. Can we have the project, please? Thank you. The result is hereby displayed. We have 13 shareholders who have voted in favor and holding 4,982,096,660 units, and all have voted in favor. Thank you.
Thank you. I declare the motion has been duly carried. Thank you. I appreciate the shareholders on the board for approving the dividend payment. And we now come to the next item on the agenda, which is the re-election of directors. By virtue of Article 54 of the Company's Articles of Association, 1/3 of all non-executive directors are required to stand for re-election every year, depending on the tenure on the board. Together with directors appointed by the board since the last annual general meeting. In keeping with this requirement, myself, Mr. Tunde Folawiyo, Mr. Adamu Atta, and Ms. Evelyn Oputu will retire at this AGM, and being eligible for re-election, will submit ourselves for re-election. It is hereby confirmed that following a formal evaluation, the directors continue to demonstrate their commitment to their roles as non-executive directors. The profiles of the three directors are on page 48, 51, and 54 of the annual report, respectively. I shall therefore move the necessary resolutions that would require unanimous approval. I hereby move that in accordance with Article 54 of the Articles of Association of CoronationMB, Mr. Babatunde Folawiyo be elected as a director in the bank. Could someone please rise and second the motion?
My name is Agboviris Ayadimokore, representing Coastal Properties Limited. I second the motion.
Can the registrar please conduct the voting session?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Following receipt and collation of the votes from all 13 shareholders here by proxy, I hereby request that the results collated be displayed. Thank you. The result is hereby displayed. We have 13 shareholders holding 4,982,096,660 shares and representing 100%, and we have all shareholders who have voted in favor. Thank you.
I hereby declare the motion has been duly carried. Thank you very much for the election and the confidence reposed in us. I hereby move that in accordance with Article 54 of the Articles of Association of CoronationMB, Mr. Adamu Atta be elected as a director in the bank. Could someone please rise and second the motion?
Mr. Chairman, my name is Adenika Adekoya. I represent Coronation Insurance PLC. I support the motion.
Thank you very much. Can the registrar please conduct the voting session?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Following receipt and collation of votes received from all proxies, we hereby display the results. The result is hereby displayed, and we have, for the third resolution, 13 shareholders who have voted in favor and holding 4,982,096,660 shares and representing 100%, who have all voted in favor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I declare that the motion has been duly carried, and thank you very much for the election. I hereby move that in accordance with Article 54 of the Articles of Association of CoronationMB, Mr. Evelyn Oputu be re-elected as a director in the bank. Could someone please rise and second the motion?
I'd like to second the motion. My name is Chizoba Ukweze.
Thank you very much. Registrar, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Once again, following the collation and receipt of all votes from the 13 shareholders, we await display of the result. Thank you. The result is hereby displayed. On the resolution to elect Mrs. Evelyn Oputu as a non-executive director, we have 13 shareholders who have all voted in favor and holding 4,982,096,660 units, all representing 100%. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I declare that the motion has been duly carried, and thank you for your re-election. We now come to the next item of the agenda, which is the appointment of auditors. Section 401 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 provides that every company shall at each annual general meeting appoint an auditor to audit the financial statements of the company and to hold office from the conclusion of that annual general meeting until the conclusion of the next annual general meeting. Section 4.2 of the Central Bank of Nigeria Prudential Guidelines 2010, Section 20.2 of the Nigerian Code of Corporate Governance 2018, and the Audit Regulations 2020 issued by the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria provide that the tenure of a company's external auditor shall be for a maximum period of 10 years from date of appointment. Following the expiration of the tenure of PricewaterhouseCoopers, PwC, the Board Audit Committee and the Board of Directors have recommended the appointment of Messrs. KPMG Professionals as the company's external auditors. The appointees have indicated their willingness to so act as auditors to the company from the next AGM, subject to your approval. I hereby move that Messrs. KPMG Professionals be and is hereby appointed as the auditors to the bank from the end of this annual general meeting until the end of next year's annual general meeting. Could someone please second the motion?
Mr. Chairman, my name is Abubakar Jumo, representing Trust Bank Holdings. I hereby support the motion.
Thank you very much. Registrar?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Following receipt and collation of votes received from all 13 shareholders in attendance by proxy, we hereby wait for display of the results. The result is hereby displayed, and we have 13 shareholders holding 4,982,096,660 shares, representing 100%, all voting in favor of the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. Voting on this resolution is now closed. I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. We now come to the next item on the agenda, which is the remuneration of auditors. Section 408 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 provides that the remuneration of the auditor of the company shall be fixed by the company in general meeting or in such manner as the company in general meeting may determine. Pursuant to this provision, you are required to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the auditor for the financial year ending 31st December 2020. 21. I hereby move that the Board of Directors be authorized to fix the remuneration of the auditors for the financial year ending 31st December 2021 in accordance with the provisions of CAMA. Could someone please second the motion?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. My name is Mustafa Sudengi. I represent Abdin Construction. I hereby second the motion.
Thank you very much. Registrar?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Following receipt and collation of all votes received from our 13 shareholders present by proxy, we hereby await display of the results on that resolution. The result is hereby displayed. We have 13 shareholders who are holding 4,982,096,660 shares and representing 100% of the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The resolution is unanimously carried. This now takes us to the next item on the agenda, which is special business, and we passed by special resolution. CoronationMB is required by law to seek your approval of the annual fees payable to non-executive directors. Shareholders will therefore be required to authorize the Board of Directors to propose the directors' emoluments for subsequent approval by members. CoronationMB is required by law to seek your approval of the annual fees payable to the non-executive directors. And we propose that the directors' fees for the financial year ending December 31st, 2021 shall be and is hereby fixed as follows. 20 million naira for the chairman and 18 million naira for the non-executive directors. Sitting allowances, chairman 250,000 naira per meeting and other non-executive directors 200,000 naira per meeting. Could someone please second the motion?
Mr. Chairman, I, Govir Mokore, representing Coastal Properties Limited, I second the motion.
Thank you. Registrar?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Following the receipt and collation of votes received from 13 shareholders who are present here by proxy and holding 4,982,096,660 units and representing 98.64, we hereby display the results on the special resolution. Thank you. The result is hereby displayed. We have 13 shareholders holding 4,982,096,660 shares and representing 100%, who have all voted in favor of the special resolution. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The resolution is unanimously carried. This now brings us to the last business for the day, which is also special business requiring a special resolution. The CBN's mandatory code of corporate governance provides that there shall be a board review and appraisal covering all aspects of the board structure and composition, responsibilities, processes, and relationships, as well as individual members' competencies and respective roles in the board's performance. Section 5, subsection 4, subsection 6 of the CBN Code of Governance for banks and discount houses stipulates that the company is required to appoint a consultant to conduct annual board and directors review covering all aspects of the board structure, composition, responsibilities, processes, and relationships, as well as individual members' competencies and their respective roles in the board's performance. The outcome of the review will be presented to shareholders at the annual general meeting. Pursuant to this provision, the firm of EY, as they're now called, was appointed by the bank as the external consultant for the board performance appraisal for the financial year ending 31st December 2020. The firm concluded the assessment, and I now call on the representative of the firm to present their report. That report is also on page 27 of the annual report that's before you. EY, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Ijeoma Bauchi, and I'll be speaking on Dr. Benson Umeru's behalf. I'll be presenting the report of external consultants on the board performance evaluation of Coronation Merchant Bank Limited. We have performed the evaluation of the board of Coronation Merchant Bank Limited for the year ended 31st December 2020 in accordance with the guidance of Section 2.8.3 of the Central Bank of Nigeria and the revised code of and the Federal Reporting Council Nigeria Code of Public Governance 2018. These codes mandate an annual evaluation of the board and individual directors of financial institutions with specific focus on the board structure and composition, responsibilities, processes, relationships, individual directors' competencies, and respective roles in the performance of the board. Subsection 2.8.2 and 3 of the code requires each board to identify and adopt, in the light of the company's future strategy, critical success factors of key strategic objectives. And subsection 2.8.3 requires that such evaluation should be conducted by an independent consultant. Our approach included the review of the bank's corporate governance framework and all relevant board policies and procedures. We obtained written representation through online questionnaires administered to the board members and conducted one-on-one interviews with the directors and key personnel of the bank. The evaluation is limited in nature, and as such may not necessarily disclose all significant matters about the company or reveal irregularities in the underlying information. On the basis of our work, the Board of Coronation Merchant Bank has complied with the requirements of the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Nigeria's Code of Corporate Governance for banks and discount houses, and Financial Reporting Council's Code of Corporate Governance during the year ended 31st December 2020. Specific recommendations for further improvement of the bank's corporate governance practices have been articulated and included in our detailed reports to the board. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I hereby move that the board evaluation report of CoronationMB for the year ended December 31st, 2020 be approved and adopted, and that the external consultant, Mrs. Ernst & Young, UI, should be reappointed to conduct the 2021 evaluation exercise for the bank. Please could someone second the motion?
My name is Chizoba Ufrez. I would like to second the motion.
Thank you very much. Registrar?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Following receipt and collation of votes from all 13 shareholders, we hereby display the results. The result is hereby displayed, and we have 13 shareholders holding 4,982,096,660 shares and holding, representing 100%, all voting in favor of the special resolution. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The resolution is unanimously carried. So we get to the closing remarks for the day. In view of the fact that there were no comments during the earlier part of the meeting in terms of the accounts, just want to give our members an opportunity to make comments if they wish, or say a few words about the performance of the bank in the last 12 months. And the floor is open to members online or physically present who would like to say anything about what has been presented to all of us. Any takers? Mr. Abujimo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Abujimo, representing Trust Bank Holdings. The first thing is to appreciate the management for a good job done during a very difficult year. Last year was a testing period for the board, and they were able to come out with a very good result. I think that is very commendable. It's also to thank myself for making sure we have a very good successor that is able to take us to the next level after I left office. And to thank the board for cooperating and supporting the new management to take us to this level. Well done, management. Well done, board.
Thank you very much, Abu. Any other comments? Okay. If there are no other comments, then this... Oh, I beg your pardon.
Mr. Chairman, I also want to lend my voice to what Mr. Abujimo just said, to commend the management of the bank for job well done. It was a very difficult year for the entire world. So, Banjo and team, well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Any comments from our online members? Well, evidently not. So, in the absence of any other comments, I will say that this concludes the business of the meeting. I would like to thank each and everyone present here and those online for attending this meeting, which I now declare closed. And lunch has been provided, and I urge those present to please partake in it. I guess the people online are not speaking because they haven't been given lunch. Let's please have the national anthem as we close the meeting.